Afternoon, everyone. I'm a Community History Officer at the NOS Council, and today I'm going to show you our suite of site studies that we are launching this month and promoting throughout this year, with topics on factories, Aboriginal history, LGBTQ+ history, the suburb of Ashfield, and 19th century ocean pools. This inquiry-based studies and historical resources are designed for Years 7 to 10 history syllabus, funded through a New South Wales Heritage Grant. These are developed for history teachers by collaborating with archaeologists, professional historians, and teachers. In these site studies, students can develop analytical skills using historical sources to undertake inquiries and communicate their results. For teachers, they can incorporate an engaging local history to students, all connecting back to our history collection and the change of site over time. The first study we have covers the area of Marrickville Metro, where the Vic and Woolen mills once stood. You can see from these photos that the mill house is still present next to the current shopping centre. In 1893, John Vickers purchased the buildings, producing cloth from Australian wool, and managed government contracts, supplying blankets and uniforms for railway workers, then later the Army, Navy, and Air Force in both World Wars. During this time, he employed many women and girls as young as 14, that all comprised 75% of Vickers' labour force. The mill closed in the 70s, with the buildings being demolished. The next is Dawn Fraser Pool at Balmain. This is an exploration of a larger site, with developments of the site's change and encompassing a rare surviving example of an 1880s ocean pool. We also cover the history of famous swimmers, women's inclusion, the water polo club and social activities, as well as the National Box Factory that once stood next door, as well as the White Horse Point and its rowing club. With all this information, we wanted it to come to life and to show its intergenerational appeal. This led to a collaboration between the NOS Council and its history team. Michael Rampe of Realistic Imaging, the creator of the 3D pedestal platform, and the Friends of Dawn Fraser Pool in the development of an interactive resource in virtual reality. This interactive technology provides a space for engagement, blending historical learning with the latest digital innovations. Using aerial and ground-based photography and laser scanning in a process called photogrammetry, which are the examples playing now. Interactive elements include 3D objects, 360 images, deep zooms and comparison sliders, as well as this full custom VR experience. This can be viewed using a VR headset or on a phone, tablet, and computer through the website. There's lots to explore and discover, hidden away in all these areas of the VR, with the photos and historical information as well as primary sources, all on the specifically designed website. This history, like other site studies, can be scaled to older primary school years and for university students, as well as allowing historians, archaeologists, architects, teachers, the public and local community to explore this VR in their own time. We have also got 4 works focusing on Aboriginal history, researched and written by NOS Cultural Advisor Deborah Lennis. The first topic is a look into Aboriginal identities of who lived and worked in the inner west. Douglas Grant, who was taken from his home in northern Queensland and brought to New South Wales as part of the Stolen Generation. He was adopted into a family of the Scottish taxidermist Robert Grant. He went to a prestigious private school in the inner west suburbs and had a passion for drawing. He worked many jobs throughout his life, such as a mechanical draftsman for Mort Stock in Balmain. He later enlisted in World War I to fight for his country. However, to the New South Wales Aboriginal Protection Board, he was a non-citizen. This was evident when his unit was departing Sydney for the war. He was prevented from leaving, as, quote, much to his disgust of his comrades, he was one of the most popular fellows in the company. He later fought in the First Battle of Bully Court in France. He was then captured, spending almost 2 years confined to a German POW camp, becoming an object of fascination for German doctors, scientists, and anthropologists. He returned, like many other soldiers in World War I, suffering from mental health issues, which led to places like Callan Park Mental Institution to open for ex-servicemen. He spent his time fighting for social justice Aboriginal people and helping design and build the Callan Park War Memorial, photographed here. Other topics cover the self-determination and autonomy of First Nations people, including the Freedom Rides, the 67 referendum, the Tent Embassy, Land Rights Act, Mabo, and the National Apology, with one case study about the survival memorials at Yeo Park in Ashfield, a significant meeting place for Aboriginal communities who gathered there to discuss law and important community issues. Inner West Council worked with the Aboriginal community to promote this cultural heritage, addressing areas of disadvantage and the protection and preservation of the environment. In doing so, building relationships with these local Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal communities, enhancing everyone's lived experience and promoting reconciliation. Our next study focused on the LGBTQ+ history from the 1970s until today, as many of Australia's most prominent and groundbreaking LGBTQ+ activists were prominent in Sydney. This site study aims to foster students' interest in these individuals and reflect on major social changes. Two key events that we cover is the establishment of the organisation Camp Inc. in the Inner West, which was an advocacy group that fought for legislative change, as well as offering support services for individuals and ran community events. The first ever Mardi Gras in Sydney in 1978, as many Inner West residents helped to organise this event, including Camp Inc. members. Photographed here is long-term Inner West resident Robin, a camp executive resisting arrest and appearing on the front pages of the Telegraph, resulting in the loss of her job. Even with this police violence and arrests, Mardi Gras has taken place every year since, improving the visibility of the community. We have also covered the area and suburb of Ashfield. In 1838, the rural nature of Ashfield was considered an area to live and visit to preserve one's health, as, quote, a perfect cure for town luxuries and indulgences. Ashfield was one of the 4 only stops on the rail line between Sydney and Parramatta when it opened in 1855. Most notably, the famous Quong Tart was a successful businessman and community member for Ashfield, running significant tea rooms in Sydney, and one of the handful of public areas in Sydney women could gather. His employees, mostly waitresses, were treated well, working reasonable hours, provided meals in the restaurant, and allowed free time for needling and reading. The resource kits we are providing as part of the sites give teachers a range of tools, including a text-based guide, videos, photos, a PowerPoint, and linked bibliographies and primary sources, as well as the important teacher notes and student worksheet questions. If you would like to keep an eye out for the Dawn Fraser website to explore the VR or the other history studies, as we begin to make them public, you can visit our website or scan this QR code. And if anyone has any questions about the project or want to learn more, you're welcome to reach out to our team as well. Thank you.